Today I'm going to do an initial review of an Ion Air Pro HD sports camera, as well as the Ion Air helmet and bike kit. When I was looking at purchasing a sport camera, my main thing was price. I didn't want to spend $400 like some of those other cameras they charge. So when I saw this come on sale at Henry's it was $199 for the camera, Air Pro camera, and you got a free bike kit, I said, you know, for a little over 200 bucks, let's take the plunge. So I'll just go grab a knife now and open up the boxes and see what we have inside. Okay, so let's piece of tape holding the bottom of the package onto the box, and that slides off like that. Okay, and then we have this neat, it looks like an aluminum case on the bottom. There's tape going around the edge, so let's just cut this tape. Okay, and the top comes off the box, so let's just remove this from the base of the camera. Oh, that comes off quite easily. I'll take care of that tape later. So this is the camera inside its own neat little case. Let's see if we can get this undone. So this is the camera in its own case. It's snapped into the base of the plastic here. You squeeze that and it slides right out. So here's the camera. It's about, maybe 3.5 inches long. With a button on top, a slider right there, and a back piece which comes off. So let's just get into that in a little bit more detail later. I'll just slide this, put this over here. Okay, the actual box, I'll take all that, there's a piece of tape gone. So, piece of foam, another piece of foam, some instructions, and a bag. I think that's the bag that the camera can go in. It's a little like a silk type bag. We have an electrical outlet for some non-North American country, and we have another one, different type of electrical adapter, and yet another one with different shaped prongs. This here is the one for North America, the normal 2 slots to go into a wall outlet. And we have what looks like, let's see, we have a USB cable that must hook the camera up to the computer. We have a little piece of string with a lock onto it. I think that's some sort of security lock that goes into the camera and wraps around your mount on your helmet or your bike. We have a little, it looks like a little tool. There's actually a screw on the bottom of the camera, right there, that allows you to take this base plate off. That's for loosening. That's for loosening that. And and we have a little tripod to go along with that. And there's more down there. There's actually a cable, an RCA cable, and that must plug into the back of the camera to hook it right up to the TV. So there you have it. That's the contents of the actual box itself. And here's the camera once again. As I mentioned before, a screw on the bottom. Take that off and it can screw to any tripod. We have here's a lens. I believe it's a 120-degree wide-angle lens, typical fisheye bubble type of lens. There you can see it there. on-off switch, which you can take pictures with once it's in the on position. You have a stop and record as a slider button. When it's charged, you slide. Okay, there seems to be a bit of a charge in it. The light's on. I'll just turn that off. And you hear that sound, that it actually vibrates. So when you have it mounted to your helmet and you turn it on, you can actually feel it vibrate. And there's different combinations of vibrations, which means it's doing different things, which is quite neat. At the back end here, there's a cap, and there's a little lock down there. If you slide that up into the unlock position, just rotate it. This is, I guess, the business end of the, let's see if I can get in close, of the actual camera. You've got a place there to plug in your HD cable or your USB cable to go to your computer. You have an HD or HDMI port there, as well as another AV port right there, and there's a little sliding selection bar there. You can go from full HD to HD mode, and up there goes in your mini HD card. Yeah, and this is your cap. Now this particular unit does not have the Wi-Fi option, but you can get different adapters that this will actually send out the video through Wi-Fi to any Android or Apple device, which is pretty neat, but I don't have an Android or Apple device, so this is quite good for me. So I guess you put that back on there. Make sure it's all clean, because there's gaskets there, and you don't want to get any dirt in the gasket, because it would stop it from being waterproof. You rotate it so that the two dots are lined up, and you slide that down there, and it's locked. So there's the camera. This is the helmet and bike kit. This allows you to mount the Ion Air Pro to, well, I guess, helmets and bikes. And it contains various, again, bits and pieces, as I call them, to allow you to do that. So I'll just flip over the box and show you what we've got. We've got a bike mount. This can go on your handlebars, on your seat post, maybe on a part of the frame of your bike. And it tightens down with these two knobs right here. And you actually mount the camera in through this hole. There are two ball joints. There's a straight one and an angled one. So depending upon what orientation you want to put the camera, use one of these. There's also a fitting plate. This allows you, for certain helmets, you can strap the nylon cords in through this, and allows you to fit it to a helmet. There's nylon straps to come in a bag, as well as various, I guess, sticky bits, 3M tape, that allows you to mount it to helmets on a more permanent basis. And one last piece that it has is actually a helmet mount. And I've just got it mounted up to my helmet here using a strap. As you can see, the strap just wraps in around the helmet. There's instructions actually in the box on how to do that. And again, you use one of those ball joints, and it clips into the side of the helmet. So, later I'll show you how that works once I take some video on the trails. So that's that. So that's what you get with the bike kit. So now I'll just show you quickly how the actual camera mounts into these couple of pieces. To mount the camera up to the helmet, especially with this profile here, or where I have the attachment on the side of the helmet, what you do is you take your camera and the angled ball joint, the one that's like that, and you slide the camera in. You hear the click, so it's inside the ball joint, and then you take it and you just, well, you unloosen this lock nut that's on the side, and you hear that snap, so it's snapped in place, and then you just tighten up that there, and it's not going to move. Well, it's still got to be a bit tighter. So there you go, and it's pretty sturdy in there. And again, what you do is that you angle that depending upon where you want, what picture you want to take, and just tighten that down, and it won't move. And there it is, mounted on the side of your helmet. Now it's much the same similar process for the bike mount. Again, you take your camera and your straight ball joint, slide it in. Release that a little bit. To attach the camera to your bike mount, it's pretty much the same thing. You take your camera and your straight ball joint, and you slide the ball joint onto the camera. Hear the snap. It's in place. And then you can imagine if this was mounted on your handlebar. You'd loosen this tight down nut. You'd snap this in place. And then you tighten it down. And again, depending upon, okay, your handlebar would be like that. And then you just, angle your camera whichever way you need it angled. So it's a pretty neat system. And you can remove the camera in one of two ways. You can either back off this nut here and pull the whole thing out, or you can just squeeze the two cams or the two levers on the bottom of the camera and slide it right out of the shoe. Well, I had to wrestle with it. For some reason this doesn't want to easily come off the base here, which is a little disconcerting, because if you're trying to make a quick move, say from a helmet to a bike, then it's going to be a little bit of a pain. Let's just try it again. So it slides. Shouldn't be that tight. It doesn't snap in place. No, it's not snapping in place. There's two little notches that come into holes here, and they're not snapping in place. Let me take a closer look. So I took a closer look at it, and I'm not quite sure what's wrong, because this is the bike helmet. So this is the angled plate. I just slide it in there, and hear that snap. It's in place. I squeeze on those two things. On the bottom camera, slides out relatively easily. However, if I take this one and I slide it into the camera, I'm putting a lot of force on it there, and it's not snapping into place. Oh, you heard a snap then, but that's a lot of force I put on that, and I don't like that. Let's see if I can take it off now. So you squeeze in on those two little, that tab there and that tab there, and it should slide back off. No, it's not coming off. That has me a little concerned, because now the base of this is twisting when I'm trying to get it off, which shouldn't happen. That's a problem. And so there you have it, an initial review of the Ion Air Pro and its accessory box, the helmet and bike kit. You get a lot of pieces with it, but I'm not quite sure if it all works. So I guess stay tuned to some upcoming videos, so I'll tell you how things work out.